Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to take work health and safety and completely flip it. We're turning it from a dry, textbook topic into your ultimate exam cheat code for landing a Band 6. Look, if you're studying HSC Multimedia, you already know WHS is tested heavily across both the short answer and the extended response sections. But we aren't just going to sit here memorizing definitions today. No way. We're going to break down exactly what the markers are actually looking for.
So, here is our roadmap. First, we'll cover core WHS concepts. Next up, short answer tactics. And finally, decoding the 10 marker.
All right, part 1, core WHS concepts, the foundation.
Now, if we look at the official answers from the 2013 and 2022 exams, NESA makes it crystal clear why safety standards even exist in the first place. Fundamentally, WHS legislation is there to protect employee welfare. It's the law. Employers are legally required to proactively provide safety training, safe equipment, and regular inspections. And honestly, failing to do so isn't just a moral failing, right? It leads to severe financial and criminal penalties. We're talking massive production disruptions and a complete tanking of workplace morale.
Okay, what's genuinely fascinating here is how instantly you can elevate your marks just by upgrading your vocabulary. Markers are actively hunting for industry-specific context. Notice the huge difference between a basic answer and a Band 6 answer? For starters, don't use outdated terms like OHS, it's WHS now. Swap out the generic word boss for the official legal acronym PCBU. That stands for Person Conducting a Business or Undertaking. And please, this is absolutely crucial, stop talking about generic building site hazards like hard hats. You are taking a multimedia exam. You need to talk about high-draw rendering servers or specify ASNZS 3760 testing. Dropping terms like that immediately signals to the marker that you really know your stuff.
Let's move on to Part 2, Short Answer Tactics, Rapid Fire Responses.
For Section 2 short answers, you've got to be precise, concise, and strategically aligned with the syllabus frameworks. A perfect example is the 2016 exam, which literally asked for the purpose of a risk assessment. You need to define it specifically as measuring severity and likelihood to control hazards. If your answer is just to stop people getting hurt, well, you're just leaving marks on the table. You want to provide concrete examples. Think about identifying the toxicity of printer toner chemicals before they cause harm. That specific prevention leads to fewer injuries, less sick leave, and naturally improved business efficiency.
When you're tackling hazard reduction questions, you absolutely must order your answer using the official NESA strategy, the risk reduction hierarchy. You literally apply these steps in this exact order, starting from the absolute most effective, which is elimination, all the way down to the absolute last resort, which is personal protective equipment, or PPE. You've got to memorize this sequence. It's a game changer.
Let's look at how incredibly powerful this is in practice. Say you get a question like the one from 2019 about a multimedia firm filming on a busy street. You apply that exact hierarchy. To get full marks, you suggest eliminating the risk entirely by filming on a closed set with a replica intersection. Then, you apply engineering controls by using traffic barricades. Next, you enforce administrative controls by restricting the shoot to off-peak hours. And finally, you utilize PPE by having the stunt crews wear body armor. Boom! That right there is a perfectly structured 5-mark answer.
All right, Part 3, Decoding the 10 marker, the final boss. This is where we bring everything together for the ultimate final boss battle, decoding the 2022 10-mark extended response on strategies to improve safety in a multimedia workplace. The absolute crux of the marker's secret formula lies in one specific verb, explain. Now, explain doesn't mean you just list off some strategies. No, you actually have to prove a chain reaction between the physical action the workplace takes and the specific safety result it achieves, cause and effect.
So the crucial trick is this. You must physically separate your strategy from the direct safety improvement it creates. Notice how a true Band 6 exemplar splits it up. The strategy is implementing a routine test and tagging program for electrical compliance. Pretty straightforward, but you don't stop there. The safety improvement explicitly states that this identifies faulty grounding before failure, which eliminates the hazard of electrical fires. Strategy first, then the effect, every single time.
The best way to master this 10 marker is by splitting your overall essay into 3 core pillars. It usually starts with a really heavy focus on physical infrastructure and electrical asset safety. I mean, just think about a modern media production environment for a second. It's essentially a giant high-voltage web of electricity, right?
Notice how we keep pivoting back to the multimedia context.
We aren't discussing generic offices here. We're talking about high-draw rendering servers and massive studio lighting rigs. To control these highly specific hazards, an exemplar answer suggests engineering controls like overhead cable trays and heavy-duty rubber floor ramps. Why? To physically isolate those trailing camera leads away from pedestrian walkways. That directly stops slips, trips, and falls right there on the studio floor.
Once you've handled the cables, the second pillar of a perfect essay shifts to ergonomics and human factors. This directly addresses the stationary reality of digital editors, coders, and animators. Because safety isn't just about avoiding a sudden, dramatic injury, it's heavily about protecting against the chronic, long-term physical damage caused by just sitting and doing the job day in and day out.
To combat this, your strategy involves supplying fully adjustable task chairs with proper lumbar support, height-adjustable sit-to-stand desks, and articulating monitor arms. The cause and effect safety improvement here? It ensures neutral body postures. This actively minimizes stress on the spine and directly prevents repetitive strain injuries, like carpal tunnel syndrome, which, by the way, is a specific hazard that NESA actually tested back in the 2014 short answer section.
And hey, we absolutely cannot forget about visual health. To further mitigate visual strain, dry eye syndrome, and optic muscle fatigue, a really brilliant strategy is to enforce software-driven screen breaks utilizing the 20-20-20 rule. It's super memorable. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. If you combine that administrative control with ambient diffused lighting to minimize screen glare, you've just written a bulletproof paragraph.
Finally, the third pillar targets the human element of safety: administrative policies, consultation, and emergency preparedness. You could have all the fanciest safety equipment in the world, but to truly improve safety, you need to cultivate a shared culture of safety ownership where communication flows completely freely between staff and management.
So how do we actually do that? By establishing active WHS committees. And again, keep it multimedia specific. Mention that this committee includes daily operational insight from your audio engineers, your post-production editors, and your floor managers. They're the ones in the trenches who will actually catch near misses, like an overheating server, and put it in a transparent log. Furthermore, erecting internationally recognized graphical signage, like green first aid icons and yellow caution signs, is an amazing administrative strategy. It bypasses literacy and language barriers entirely, ensuring immediate hazard comprehension for literally everyone on set.
Now, before we finish, there is one quick meta strategy you must employ: structural scannability. Using bold subheadings and clear bullet points is a massive hallmark of Band 6 work in Section 3. It shows the marker that you aren't just nervously rambling, you have a highly structured, coherent argument. It literally makes your essay incredibly easy to read, and therefore incredibly easy to reward with full marks. Help the marker give you a 10 out of 10.
As we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this strategic challenge, pulled straight from the marker's critique. Before you hand in that exam paper, take a hard look at your extended response and ask yourself, are you just listing safety rules, or are you proving how they save lives? Master that cause and effect, upgrade your vocabulary, contextualize it purely to the multimedia industry, and you are going to absolutely crush the WHS section. Thanks so much for joining me, and good luck with your studies.